Hi, welcome to Hitchin Farm Working Horses, and today we're going to just give you a quick run through of what we'd be looking for in a workhorse if we're going out shopping for one.
So here we have Dolly ridging potatoes. This is Dolly and Roger logging. This is a team of 6 pulling a 4-ton roller. Then we have bracken rolling. This is ploughing, mowing, driving out with a random, teaching a logging course. This is crushing apples to make cider.
We've trained over 200 working horses, and there's definitely some patterns and certain things that we're looking for in them. And the prime thing that we're looking for, the very most important thing, is personality. That horse is going to be a calm, relaxed creature that's really self-confident. As you can see, these two guys are pretty chilled, and that's what makes them really good workhorses. And it's self-confidence. It's probably the most important thing when choosing a workhorse. You can see she's actually just barged her way in there. Gwen is a Swedish Ardennes. She'll be 6 in the spring. I really highly rate this horse. And she's just not worried about anything bashing into her back legs. She's like going to push away through stuff. This is a really good indication that this animal, if I hadn't already trained her, is going to be something that is going to be a nice workhorse. So the reason we're looking for a self-confident horse is the fact that when these guys are out logging and ploughing and cultivating, they're not right next to you. You know, especially when you're logging, they could be actually like 50 metres away from you. So they've got to be sort of confident in their own skin that they can do their job. So a horse that will allow you to approach it when it's lying down is a real sign of self-confidence, because, you know, considering we're predators, they shouldn't allow us right up next to them when they're in this vulnerable position. But obviously, you know, the likes of Blossom doesn't mind that, so hopefully in the future she's going to be a really good workhorse. So if I was looking to spot a confident horse, it's not the horse that's hiding in the corner at the back of the barn. It's the one that's out front and centre all the time, normally getting up to mischief. That's the one I'm looking for, really. Right, we're going to have a quick chat about conformation as far as workhorses go. Really, what I want is something short and squat. Length of leg doesn't increase the amount of power you got. It's weight that moves weight. So what I'm looking for is the length of leg to be same as the depth of body. And these Swedish Ardennes really demonstrate that nicely. And also I want a nice short coupled horse. I don't want a horse with a really long back, because any sort of length either in its back or in its leg is more likely to give you a weakness than a strength. So this is Opal. She's one of our main horses as well, and she's about 13.2, so she's a bit smaller than Dolly. But really what I wanted to show you is, even though she's a smaller horse, the length of leg and depth of body is the same. And really, when we went and picked this girl, that's the kind of thing that we're looking for next to the personality. Right, so width of chest also is really important, because you imagine that's where their heart and lungs is, and they need a good bit of space for that, especially when they're in heavy work. So this is a demonstration of a horse that doesn't have clean legs. We got Lottie as part of a rescue case, really. If I was going out to buy a horse and it had legs like this, I would really have second thoughts about it. What you can see is we've got open cuts here, and that's purely from the start of CPL. And down here you can see the ridges and the folds of skin. What you'll find is with the edema that these horses get under these lumps of skin, you'll then get lesions. So here we have Clover the Breton, and as I'm running my hand down the back of that tendon, it should be nice and smooth all the way down, and it is. And she's got really nice clean legs, good tendon definition, and also under here she's got a few little tiny wrinkles, but compared to Lottie, she's very clean legged. And we have very few issues with her legs. Like I said, we clip a few of the feathers out because she got a slight bit of mud fever, but apart from that, I never have any contact with her legs at all. Whereas Lottie, it's a sort of 2-3 times a week job. So as far as size and breed goes, what you've got to really think about is what you actually want to do with your small holding or with your pony. Really, you should ask yourself when you set out to do this, do I need a heavy horse? And a lot of the time what you find is if you've got just an acre or two of grass management that you want to do, or a little veg plot, really this kind of horse is going to be like too much and you'll never really use its full potential. Whereas a 13-hand cob, you know, it'll go out driving, you can ride it and do all your vegetable and logging needs as well. And with a lot of the modern machinery that they're bringing out now, even the likes of Shetland ponies and donkeys can pull like the likes of a Cassim doing vegetable gardening. So really, look into it, do your homework. So this is Dolly, she's one of our gypsy cobs. She's been one of our main horses now for 6.5 years. She's roughly about 14 hands. And she's a really tough little pony. We really like this sort of horse. And really economical to keep, but again there's wide varieties of work, from bringing the cows in when you're riding her to ploughing and cultivating and everything else you can imagine. With the likes of Opal and Dolly, our cob mares, they always maintain weight really well. They never really have to have any hard feed. So if you go and buy a young horse and it's like your first attempt at this, what I would recommend is to see that mum and dad of the horse that you're buying does something, whether it's riding or driving, just so that you know that that horse is coming from good bloodlines, and not because it's won a show, because it does a job. Okay, so here at Hitchin Farm we do use quite a lot of stallions. This is our group of boys at the moment, they're all entire. Really, I don't recommend stallions for a lot of people. You've got to really be able to socialise them well, and they do need a little bit more work than a mare or a gelding. The reason we like the stallions is they've always got a little bit left in the tank when the going gets hard. You know, if you're out there haymaking, they're going to give you that little bit extra. Also, what they do is they seem to hold muscle much better, and if they do get a bit of time off, they don't go all flabby. They'll come back into work just fine. So if you're starting out with workhorses in this country, I do really recommend the cobs. They're really good temperaments. They're normally really laid back and easy going. And if you're in America, what I'd be looking at is I'd go and talk to some of the teamsters that are actually out there ploughing and cultivating with their horses, and talk to them about what temperament their horses are like over there, because everyone seems to have their own sort of breed standard. Right, so you don't see too many of these in the country at the moment. This is the Breton. It's French bred horse. It's got the size and the shape of like the Ardennes, but also its legs are so much better. I can't emphasise enough how good this horse's legs are. They're really clean. You can see that we've clipped off a little bit of hair on the back legs, but that's purely because we left them out a little bit long and she got a very small touch of mud fever right there. But the other thing about these Bretons is the temperament. This mare is a rising 4-year-old and she's really quiet, really easy going, and we really rate her as a good workhorse. Right, so if we work round now, this here is Lupin. She is a Clydesdale cross cob, really nice little mare, does everything again. She's rising 5-year-old this time. I'll be honest, I don't entirely know which side of the breeding it would come from, remembering that all of our cobs have really good feet, but whether it has come from the Clydesdale we don't know, but she has got appalling feet. She's got the worst feet on the farm now, alright. She stays pretty sound, but really when I'm looking at the foot, what you'll find is this side of the foot is very upright, and then this side is very flared, so there's obviously some slight conformation issue with her that is causing her feet to kick out like that. Also, what she's really prone to is what you can see here, which is side cracks.
and sand cracks. So really have a look at your horse when you go to have a look at it, and make sure that it doesn't have any of these, because basically this is an indication that conformationally there's something not quite right, and it's going to put pressure and strain. And the old saying, no hoof, no horse. If they go lame, you can't be out logging.
Brabant or Belgian draft, beautiful temperamented horse, so laid back, it's unreal. The problem with them is that they seem to be becoming weaker and weaker, that they're susceptible to so many different issues. And I think a lot of people are bringing them to the UK now as heavyweight riding horses, but I think really you've got to be aware that the legs on these horses aren't great anymore. And they're really prone to CPL. Do your research before you buy one of these.
So this is an X-ray of CPL and side bone, and we've highlighted the side bone in orange.
This is what we've been producing now. This is 18 months old. This is a dolly baby by a Belgian draft stallion. And what we're trying to do is, because a lot of our farm work is on the heavier side, we want it to be easier for the horses, so we're breeding stuff that's a little bit bigger, but we're hoping by putting cob across the Belgian horses, we can have something that lives longer and is much, much healthier. So this is one of our 18-month-old colts as well, this is Strider. So his mum is Lupin, the Clydesdale cob cross, and his dad was Scott, who's a Belgian draft, and we're really excited to see what this guy's like. So far he seems to be a real laid-back character, and he's got a good bit of size about him, so we're really pleased about that. Right, so this is Hades, he's 6 months old now, and this is a grandson of Opal. And we really like this because we know that his mum is a good horse, because that's Lottie, our Belgian draft mare. We know that grandmum's a really good horse because that's Opal, one of our best horses. We know that dad's a really good horse because it's Oscar, who's out driving, riding, ploughing, you name it now. So we're really pleased that this one as well is actually 3/4 heavy horse, quarter cob. And what we're really hoping for is that we get the size and the bone, but we get a lot less health issues, because we really like the Belgian drafts, and the size and the temperament is phenomenal, but we don't really want the health issues that come with it, and we want them to be longer lived. So this is our experiment.
So with our horses, we like to start them really young, and you can see this is Oscar here. He would be about 4 months old, and he is out with his mum, really just getting used to the work and getting used to all the sounds and everything else going on around him. And it makes it much less stressful for him as he comes into work as an older horse.
Right, this is Oscar. So he's one of our first heavy horse cross experiments that we've done. What I also want to talk about is parentage. There's a lot of horses in this country that are reproducing that haven't come from proven stock. This horse, however, his father is one of the Samson's Percheron Stallions, so you can pretty well guarantee it's going to come from the best temperaments out there, and its mum is one of our best working mares. So it gives us the best chance to get a really good quality, easy-going workhorse for the future, and he's really starting to prove himself. As a 4-year-old, he's already quiet enough, and he is a stallion, to be out doing our training courses that we do on a regular basis, with carriage driving, chain harrowing and logging. And for the best of the part, you don't. If you're only doing a little bit of chain harrowing and a tiny bit of logging, you'll find it's much... should just